We're off again. Yes. This bitch is losing weight. Do you know my trousers actually don't stay up at the minute? I actually have to hold my trousers up. It's really embarrassing. Most of my trousers don't have a belt. Look. I'm losing so much weight that I actually need new trousers. How embarrassing is that? I need new trousers. But good evening. We'll see who turns up this evening. Hopefully more people than last night. Last night was a bum. Perfect. Sorry, didn't have my Wi-Fi on again. I always forget to turn my Wi-Fi on. There we go. Sorted. So, I don't know who's here. Hopefully, we'll get some people. It's an interesting topic tonight. It's going to feature you, Coach Eli, so I hope you're watching. Raging Alcoholic is watching. Yes, it's an Eli topic this evening because I have been abandoning my true calling, and that is to troll Eli. So prepare yourself, Eli. You're about to get trolled. So we'll give it a couple of minutes, see if anyone comes in. I got 100% battery, guys, so we're looking at over an hour. Good evening, duckies. Kitty cat. Oh, kitty cat. Ducks, kitty cats. Yeah, it's like fucking Animal Farm around here. Hat's looking good. It's a bit bent today. I keep putting it in my work bag and bending my hat. It's not good. It's not a good look. Need a new hat, really. But we need to go to Sandringham to get that. I always buy my hats from Sandringham. Wood / craft / thingy. It's usually in September. But hello to anyone that's watching, even if you're just lurking. We do love lurkers. I do love you, Coach Eli, lurking in my chat on one of your various minions that you have left, or lack of minions thereof. Because is it me, or has the gene pool slowly non-diversifying, Eli? Has your gene pool shrunk? I bet it has, hasn't it? Well, I've seen your gene pool shrink recently. So, we're going to walk, we're going to see who turns up, and we're going to do the beta alpha male debate of Coach Eli. Yes. The beta alpha debate on Coach Eli after watching his stream earlier, which was very interesting. I also watched RJ's stream as well to get both sides of the story, because there's no point having a debate on one side and not listening to both sides of it. Obviously, if we're going to debate something, we need to hear both of it. Although Coach Eli would like you just to hear one side, which is fine. I mean, you don't have to hear both sides of a story. You can technically make up your own, thoughts. But I do have my own thoughts on the topic. If someone would like to just type in the chat and let me know you're here, that would be great. Just let me know the chat's working. YouTube's been a bit shit recently with the apps chat, so if someone can just type and tell me that it's working, that would be great. Thank you, Bodacious, for the $1.49. Bodacious, that's 3 nights running now. You're going to make yourself bankrupt if you keep donating to me. Do I have to have a guilty conscience, Bodacious? But thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. Thank you to all 6 of you that are watching. Come on, guys. Put the thumbs up. Yeah, it's free, remember. So, as no one else in the chat really wants to talk, I'm going to. So, Their chat has been glitchy since Saturday. I know, it's sucking. I'm hoping it's working. So, let's get into this, and then people can just, drop in and out, as they so wish. So, it came to my attention when I was watching Eli, was it last night or the night before, that while he was away, he did a stream with RJ and Crazy Kid, was it 7-9? Whatever Crazy Kid's name is, Crazy Kid 94 something, whatever his name is, we're going to call him Crazy Kid. And he did a stream with Crazy Kid and RJ. And RJ brought up the topic of the Filipina P, which is a channel. It's got about 200,000 subscribers. She doesn't do live streams or anything like that. She probably has a Patreon, and she makes bank, basically. She gets like millions of views a month. So these millions of views obviously come mostly, we're going to use the term mostly, from males. And these are supposed beta males empty their wallets to the Filipina P. Just a tad busy. Oh, no worries. So these apparent beta males apparently empty their pockets to the Filipina P. Like, they just shed her with money. Now, as Eli did say, it is not illegal to use your prowess, your influence, your sex appeal to gain money. Being on YouTube, you can use quite a lot of things to get money. Whether it's your character, persona, your way of manipulating people, your way of coercing people. There are a lot of ways that you can get a man to open his pockets. But no matter what you do, 99% of it on YouTube, also connection is a part of the... Part what? What is? Also connection in this part of the lab is awful. Oh, no worries, Bodacious. You can just listen. You can always chip in where needed. So, Eli's obsession with the Filipina P is that she uses her... Hello, bunny. Let me just show you the cute little bunny. Look. Cute bunny. I'll put you on there for a minute so you can see the cute bunnies. So the Filipina P apparently uses her sex appeal, her character, her mannerisms, her charisma to get people to empty their wallets. Basically what Eli is saying. And you know what? Probably right. It is probably thirsty beta males, people sitting at home at their computers, single, maybe some nerds, some geeks, maybe people that genuinely fancy her, empty their wallets to this woman. Now, in YouTube, there isn't many rules that you can break to get donations. Obviously, you can wear revealing clothes to a certain extent on YouTube within reason. You can talk in certain ways. Depending on the topic, you can get demonetized, but that doesn't necessarily affect things like donations or anything like that, or AdSense or watch time necessarily. It can have a knock-on effect, though, if you talk about graphic topics, sexual topics, something that's going to get you demonetized, or to get your ads restricted, or to get you not so pushed in the algorithm. So him saying that the Filipina P uses her sexual prowess to apparently rob these men of this money. Now, I hate to say it, that if you have the low self-esteem and the low morals, and that a woman can bat her eyelids and you will just empty your wallet to her, isn't that your problem rather than hers? Quote me if I'm wrong. Comment in the chat. Is that wrong? If you are on a live stream like I am now, and I was talking nice to you and laughing at whatever jokes you put in the chat, and you sent me money, is that my problem or your problem? Whose problem is it then that you emptied your wallet? Is it the woman that's on the screen talking to you? Did she tell you to donate? Did she coerce you to donate? No, she simply does a live stream, or she has a Patreon, you like her videos, and you send her money of, and I will say this very openly, of your own free will. No one on YouTube is pushed, coerced, forced, or made to donate. You're not made to become a member. You're not made to donate anything to anybody. I have subscribers on my channel that have never donated a penny. Some lack discipline. Discipline, maybe low morals, or maybe, just maybe, donating to that girl gives them a sense of pride, a sense of chivalry, a sense of they're helping this woman who not only is giving their time up to them, but is also talking to them. Because in this world, and here is where the topic gets a little dark. In this world, if you are not part of the it crowd, the social crowd, the popular crowd, the in crowd, it can be a very lonely place, for one. So if these men who maybe have had a sheltered life, have never been around women, have never had the opportunity to even talk to a woman based on their life, maybe they have anxiety, maybe they are like RJ. RJ's a bit more closed off because he's blind, he doesn't want to get hurt, he doesn't want to be coerced, he doesn't want to be bamboozled. You know, the fact that RJ is blind gives him a slight disadvantage when it comes to the dating pool. The popular crowd isn't always the fun crowd. No. Sometimes being a part of the popular crowd can actually be the loneliest place to be. Because if you're in a popular crowd, everyone's popular. Which means if everybody is popular, then no one is looking to you because you're already in the limelight. And the problem is that when you get a bunch of popular people together, they overshadow each other. Which means if one person is in the limelight and another person is in the limelight, you try not to steal it off each other, sort of thing. You don't compete, if you get what I mean. So when you get someone like RJ, who's not in the in crowd, and to be fair, neither's Eli, these two men will try and find a way, especially Eli, of getting himself noticed by the female prowess. Now, Eli did it with Dawn by showing off the fact that he had a family estate. Now, don't lie to me, Eli. We know you told her about the family estate. There's no way in God's green earth that you didn't at some point within the first 2 dates. I'm going to put this out there. First 2 dates. You told her that your family had an estate worth millions. Guarantee it. If not, and I know this for a fact, Dawn wouldn't have stayed around. Not a chance. If you didn't have an estate, that woman would have been out of there and into a sports bar and hanging off some jock strap before the end of the night. 100%. Now, RJ doesn't necessarily have a lot to offer. The fact that he's blind can be a disadvantage, not only to himself, but also to a coupling and a pairing. Now, the fact that he also has autism / Asperger's can also be a deterrent for finding women. It makes you more sheltered. It makes you more anxious. And the quality of friends is more important than the number. Exactly, Bodacious. So when Eli wants to portray that this Filipina P is using RJ and using her sexual prowess and coercing him, and, you know, what exactly does Eli think that Filipina wants out of RJ? What is it that she would want, that she would put time and investment into RJ? And why would RJ live in this pipe dream that the Filipina P would want him? The only way this would work in Eli's head is because the Filipina P wants money. Good evening, Joe Buddy. Now, I hate to tell you, but I highly doubt that RJ's a rich man. I mean, he doesn't have a family estate. He doesn't have a trust fund. RJ doesn't even necessarily work. So what would the Filipina really gain from RJ? Now, these other thirsty beta males that he claims are like circling her like a pack of wolves, they might have money and stuff, but to then go at RJ and say he was white knighting for Filipina and basically telling Eli to stop slagging this girl off, that, yeah, he probably never has a chance with her, but the fact that he likes her, he believes she's a friend. Now, are you telling me if the shoe was on the other foot and someone came on the panel and was slagging off Dawn or Sandra Palazzo or Tiffany or another woman in his chat, you're telling me that Eli wouldn't shoot them down and say, look, I'm friends with them, I don't want you to talk shit about them? Are you telling me that Eli wouldn't do the same thing? So RJ asked Eli basically to stop, back off, leave her alone. You know, what harm is this woman doing to Eli? Now, I watched both streams, and I watched the Crazy Kid stream with RJ, where RJ, Joe Buddy, who's in the chat, and Mrs. Carr were talking about Eli and his despicable nature. And then I watched Eli's reply to RJ talking shit about him. Women don't want RJ, he's on a fixed income and she only wants a rich man. Well, that much is true. So Eli then does a live stream and basically says, well, I'm going at RJ because he started it. As Coach J-Rom did a video earlier, well, RJ started it, so I'm going to continue it like a 2-year-old. So Eli's throwing his toys out of the pram now, going, well, you can have Crazy Kid, because I knew there was something wrong with Crazy Kid in the first place. And, you know, it took this to just realise where loyalties lie, and, you know, that Crazy Kid was a bad egg from the start, and RJ and Crazy Kid were never going to be his target audience. I'm sorry, wasn't it a week ago you were talking about podcasting with them, and that you were saying that we could make a podcast and we could stream together and we'll be one big happy family, and, you know, you can live stream with Dawn and this whole enterprise will just take off and turn into something. And what, a week later you're now saying you can't sponge a green card without a certain level of visit? No, you can't. She had to prove she had money just to get in the country. It was Joe Buddy earlier that said on the live stream with RJ to actually get in the country, when Filipina actually got into America, she actually had to show that she had money. She had to show she had a place to live. She had to show she had a return ticket to even come back. She had to prove a lot just to get in the country, to even have a tourist visa. You have to prove a lot. And as Joe would know, Joe actually has a Filipino wife. So he knows all the hurdles and the red tape and all that kind of thing. So Eli's logic, you know, kind of falls by the wayside, because he doesn't really have anything to base anything he says on. So he's now saying, if you saw Eli's stream from, is it last night, that he now doesn't want to work with Crazy Kid. He's actually took his mod wrench, and he's going to have a paddy for the next 3 days online, claiming that RJ, you know, has abandoned him. They could have had great things, and he went and messed up his chance of greatness, and, you know, Eli's the best thing that's ever happened to RJ, and he'll get no views without him, and his channel all stunted. And then just to stick the knife in, just to is that American Dream? I had American flag. I had a really time getting the car. I was a certified dickhead. Well, I mean, Eli's a certified Looney Tune, and they keep him in the country. So Eli now claims that he's given RJ a time scale. Oh yes, one of Eli's famous ultimatums. He claims that what will happen by the end of the week is, my parents are relative immigrants. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how that's going to pan out for him. Who held that for review? Bodacious. American Flags is just being silly. If he donates me money, though, he can stay. Don't get rid of all the trolls. You don't want to be like Eli, where he has no money. I make good enough bank. So, what was I saying? Yes, Eli. So what he said is that by the end of the week, RJ's going to have this epiphany. Oh yes, he's going to have a come to Jesus moment, based on the fact that he is a religious priest. He's going to have a come to Jesus moment, and he's going to realise his mistake. I'm not really sure that's going to hold water, but we'll go with it. And then he's going to delete his channel. No idea why. Then he's going to have another come to Jesus moment, because you can't just have one in a week, you got to have two. And then he's going to come running back to Eli and go, Eli, I was so wrong. We should work together, and you can make my channel amazing. And have some kind of like come to Jesus resurrection moment that Eli is so good for him that his channel can only survive with him. Now, I hate to say this, but I don't know what Kool-Aid Eli was like drinking. But his own channel is dead. I mean, how many people has he lost recently? And now RJ and Crazy Kid have jumped ship? Holy shit. I mean, is there anybody left? At this point, is there anybody left? Honestly, you know, I gain new people every day, and the amount I make would make Eli's toes curl. Literally make his toes curl. American Flags has a wrench, don't know what happened to it. Who is American Flags? Is that Dream? Is that Dream? Dream, are you really over here? Does Eli know you're free? Dream? My apologies. He is drinking hatred. Who keeps holding American Flag? Who is American Flags? Is that American Dream? I can't see the picture. Someone tell me. Hidden? Why have you hidden American Flags? He didn't say anything. Why did you hide him, California? He's just having fun. If he's poking fun at Eli, he can stay. I don't see why you would hide him. He did nothing wrong. I don't mind American Dream. He's a bit crazy and a bit weird, but Eli messed him up as much as he has other people. He's messed him up as much as he had other people. He was telling American Dream to leave his wife. He told 8-Bit Reactor to leave his wife. He told American Dream to leave his wife. What Eli needs is this single circle of desperate, lonely men. Our apologies again. Oh, that's all right. Unless they say something really bad. I don't want to turn into Eli where we ban everybody. Yeah. I don't want to ban everyone just because they have an opinion. I mean, if it's against Eli, or if they say something horrible against me, then yeah, we can ban them. But American Dream's never really done anything to me. Not yet, anyway. I mean, he's good people. Sorry, America, you're good, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's a bit quirky. He's a little bit way. He's a little bit whoa. But he's harmless. Honestly, Eli did more damage to American Dream than he could ever do to himself. The fact he took advice from Eli probably means that he does need therapy. Probably many years of it. And to be fair, 8-Bit Reactor needs many years of therapy. RJ probably needs many years of therapy. Anyone that's come in connection with Eli for long term, I believe, would need therapy. Just based on the shit that Eli tries to push on you. Like, oh, you don't love yourself. Oh, you're just lonely. If you were rich and like me, you'd have lots of friends. You don't have friends, Eli. You don't even have a trust fund. Your trust fund is your mummy's trust fund, and if she doesn't die in the next 30 years, what are you going to have to do? Get a real job? There's a possibility, like, you might actually have to get a job because your mum might not die. Have you ever considered that? Mrs. Toughbird might actually live. She might actually outlive you. What are we holding for review? Okay. What is the message? What did you put? It's fucking poor people are confused of my troll. Is it Paul? Is that Paul? Oh, is that not Mary? Is that Paul? I can't see the picture. Somebody needs to get Eli kicked out of his estate. Mummy won't live forever. Well, Mummy can't live forever. I mean, that's like physically impossible. But what she can do is she can make her other son the trustee, which then limits Eli to how much of the estate he can actually have. Because we've actually looked in this. Now, Eli's brother Chris and his sister, I believe it is, or aunt, actually has the rights and the deeds, if you want to call it, to his property, so that when Mummy Dear dies, he doesn't actually get as much as he thinks. Eli is my new BFF. Really? Well, I'm happy for you. Good evening, Holly. Can you make sure this is in the Facebook group, Holly, and also make sure it's in Discord? So, Vampire Mum would be interesting. Yes. Eternal, maybe she has the Phantom of Youth, Eli. Maybe she could get you an actual job as well. Maybe Mummy should employ you, because I heard that you were doing janitor work at one point, but I guess that's a bit demeaning for a, what was it, a 15-year successful entrepreneur? I hope you catch my humour. Of course, Paul. You and Eli are BFFs. Do not mock the BFF. I am going on a 3rd date soon. I am totally jealous, California. What exciting things are you doing on this date? You need to make Eli jealous because he can't even afford a Happy Meal right now. Even Taco Bell is probably out of his price range right now. And as I am single, I can live vicariously through your dates. So, back to the Filipina P, who I have seen do nothing wrong, mind you. All she does is make money on YouTube. Now, you tell me a woman that doesn't make money on YouTube. I make $400-500 a month. just by what? Walking around a graveyard and talking shit. If she can make millions of views, Patreon, AdSense, why the fuck not? Eli's brother does have the estate law. Yeah, I thought he'd... Is everything... What? Fucking right. Eli and I and Raven are going on a double date. Yeah, I don't have a boyfriend for obvious reasons, because they turn out to be misogynistic, egotistical men. But, you know. So, obviously, RJ and Eli are fighting now. Now, Eli claims, and this is the big claim, shared you out to the group in Discord. Thank you, Holly. Now, Eli claims that this beef is over, done with. He claims that the stream he did last night is the end of the tale. But is it? What do we think? Do we think that Eli's going to keep this going? Because drama sells, and Eli knows that. And what better drama than drama with RJ? Why would Eli stop now? Because there's two ways of looking at it. Either Eli will stop and Crazy Kid and RJ will run off into the sunset and they will not do the podcast, and they'll just go off into the sunset and go their separate ways. He can't help himself. Was it ever the end with JB, Jamie and RJ? Raven, try American Dream. Not all of them. What? American men aren't all dumbasses. Well, maybe they're just from California and they're dumbasses. Maybe they're a special breed. Maybe there's something in the water. Or maybe it's just Eli. Who knows? So, he said last night, and I quote, this has been going on for years. Yes. Unfortunately, Holly, I have lived through nearly 7 years of this debacle with Jamie and JB and Eli and anyone else that hates him. Apparently Eli has a lot of haters and continues to pick up ones, because Crazy Kid didn't have anything nice to say about him last night. In fact, Crazy Kid was one of the people that was actually slagging him off too. People steal anything. People steal anything. People steal anything in Cali, so why is Eli's equipment been stolen? Is he the main one that instigates it? Okay. Did Eli instigate it? Not necessarily. I'm going to stand up for Eli here a tiny bit. Okay. He believes, and this is his philosophy, he believes that he was doing the right thing. That the Filipina is using his friend for what I don't know, because it isn't money. The dude's blind. He doesn't have a job. He's on benefits. He's not loaded. His YouTube channel isn't exactly growing, so I'm not exactly sure what Eli believes that the Filipina would get out of him, or what she'd use him for. So his whole spiel of, I'm trying to protect my friends and his money, I don't exactly believe that RJ's giving her money. I know he goes and watches her videos, he puts some comments on there. He's not exactly stalking this woman and like throwing himself at her. Yes, he has a bit of an obsession with her, which is probably a little unhealthy. But the guy can't even see what she looks like. He's blind. You know, he literally is living in the moment. If you keep talking about something, it will never go away. Well, have a few before dinner and wanted to come and show some love. Who's that? Reap what you sow. Hey, reap what you sow. Been a while. So Eli's defense in all of this is he was being a bro and a friend and a mate. And it didn't have anything to do with the fact that him and Crazy Kid wanted to podcast, and that Eli was trying to steal Crazy Kid from RJ because, and here's the clincher, Eli believes that Crazy Kid is the fun person and that RJ is the boring person. Now, Eli and RJ are chalk and cheese. Eli is business, and RJ wants to have fun, the same as what Crazy Kid does. So when they do their streams, Crazy Kid has said that his streams are all about fun. And to be fair, so are RJ's. Usually RJ will reel off some stories, he'll have a laugh, Crazy Kid will chime in with some stories, and they have fun. Do you remember that? Fun. Eli, on the other hand, everything has to have a topic, a purpose, an outcome. There has to be donations. There has to be an end goal. It's not just fucking go on a live stream like I do now and it's just fun. Yes, I've got a topic this evening, but genuinely we walk around the churchyard looking at rabbits. I mean, it's hardly a topic. Works. Oh, Paul, why do you keep getting your shit held for? Will you stop using the word fuck in it? You're going to keep being held, Paul, because you keep swearing, and I'm monetized. Eli wants to become Howard Stern, which I'd hate to term Howard Stern as a scumbag. Can someone make it so that... Hey, Coach. Good evening, Coach. We're talking about Eli and Crazy Kid's little debacle and RJ's. You've missed my entire wonderful spiel that I've been doing. I've been doing really well. Ask Bodacious. We have literally broken down Eli's entire argument with RJ into like small little bits. No notification. I fucking hate YouTube. You bollocksing YouTube. I tell you. YouTube's getting worse. Eli's woman is obsessed with the married man while he uses a cucumber when she's at her house. Dawn is obsessed with Sifu Smo. Abso-fucking-lutely. God, if she could be close to him, she'd have his dick in a heartbeat. But the one thing Howard Stern... the Howard Stern and Wendy... Yeah. That's why Eli put so much into trying to be friends with Wendy Pack, if you know Wendy Pack, because she knew Howard Stern, and she was on the Howard Stern show, and Eli was hoping to ride her coattails. And when that shit didn't pan out, he just sacked Wendy off. It's simple. RJ said, don't talk about P. Eli just couldn't say... Hang on. Eli just couldn't say sorry. He had to keep going. Yeah. That's literally what we said. Eli had an opportunity to be like, yeah, you know, I shouldn't be talking shit about you. It's your stream. She's your friend. And just walk away and be like, I'm going to step out of this topic. But no, it's... Oh, I'm offended because you wouldn't let me express my opinions by slagging off his friend. Eli wants respect on his channel. Yeah, but doesn't want to give it anywhere else. You tell me this. If it had been RJ slagging off Dawn, or slagging off Sandra, or slagging off Tiffany, or slagging off some girl in his mod chat, or some girl that Eli had associated with, you honestly believe Eli would have just let RJ run his mouth on there? Eli would have turned around and said, no, look, you can't run your mouth on here. I run a good channel. We don't do that around here. We're about positivity, not negativity. And it wouldn't have been a big thing. RJ would have probably have said, look, that's fair enough. It's your channel. And would have probably walked away. Eli disrespected RJ and then did even more on his own channel. And then blamed RJ. Yeah. He told, or said earlier, if you saw the stream that Eli did, he said that RJ started this because he disrespected him by not allowing him to have his opinion on RJ's channel. Now, I'm sorry, but if someone came into my live stream on my panel and was like, slagging Anna off. We'll use Anna as an example. Say they were slagging Anna off, you know, and I was on a panel and Anna's a good friend of mine and they started running their mouth. You honestly believe I wouldn't tell them, look, this isn't the time or the place. If you've got a beef with some other person, that's your problem, but I'm friends with Anna, leave it at that. And if you have a decent enough friend, they're going to turn around and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I overstepped the line, that's my beef with them, and just change the subject and have a bit of mutual respect for each other. Instead, what Eli claims is that while he was away, after having supposedly 2 wonderful streams with RJ then decided to stab him in the back after being disrespectful, after he kicked him off about the Filipina. And then Eli claims that RJ then went and ran his mouth for 3 hours. Now, if you actually check that footage of that stream, it's actually Crazy Kid, Joe, and Mrs. Card that do most of the talking. RJ is there, and he is allowing it, but he's not doing... Red Paul, where have you been? You're late again. Oh, Red Paul's always late. Have you ever been on time to my stream, Red Paul? Try and be on time, yeah? You're turning into Eli, Red Paul. You're always late. So, Eli then claims that RJ then did a 3-hour live stream bashing him, although if you check the footage, which I have watched today, yeah, I shouldn't have allowed that either, to be honest. Yeah, RJ technically should have stepped in, but I think at that point they weren't really bashing him. They were technically, now here's my defense for RJ, they weren't technically bashing him. Eli says, and I quote, that stories he tells on his channels are for example purposes, and then it's neither to harm nor to tarnish anyone's name. So what Mrs. Carr and Joe were doing were using example purposes of stories to show Crazy Kid 7979, I think his name is, or 4949, the real reason that Eli has so much pumped up anger for everyone on YouTube, no matter who they are. You literally don't even have to know Eli for him to hate you. You literally have just got to be a person that has a disagreement or a different opinion with him. So they were technically, in my eyes, they weren't bashing Eli, they were relaying stories, the PT Cruiser story, the kids that threw rocks stories that have been told on YouTube by Eli himself. Yeah, I was finishing making some vids. Oh, you actually got a notification, well J-Rom didn't. Oh, RJ can't handle people on YouTube, this is why his dude on here knows that he's going to get bashed though. Well, I mean, you could say RJ was kind of in the wrong for allowing RJ to let them talk. But if Eli's going to run his mouth about the Filipina P on RJ's channel and think that it's perfectly fine, then why can they not run their mouths on RJ's channel talking about him? It's a fair balance on YouTube. You talk shit about somebody, they're going to talk shit about somebody else. The question is, and here's the clincher, can Eli talk shit about the Filipina P on RJ's live stream when she isn't there to defend herself? Now, the difference being there is if Eli had wanted to jump up on that panel with Mrs. Carr and Joe and Crazy Kid and RJ, they could have jumped up on there and he could have defended himself. He didn't. Now, the Filipina P doesn't probably even know that Eli is shit-talking her, which means this girl is being shit-talked by Eli on RJ's panel, but she can't defend herself. So it's a bit of an unfair... it's an unfair advantage to Eli. That he'd be able to talk shit about her and get no retaliation. But he wants to be allowed to do that. But when the shoe is on the other foot, Eli could have jumped in when RJ was live and retaliated and spoke to him. But he chose not to. He chose to be a beta male once again and then go to a stream claiming that RJ started this. In fact, it wasn't RJ that started it. RJ had asked you to not talk about Filipina and just to keep quiet on the situation and move on. And instead, you pent up that anger of being somewhat disrespected. I don't know how that works. Because had it been the opposite way, like I said, and someone talked shit on your channel, there's no way in hell you would allow it. Not even a chance. It just wouldn't happen. I know it's you, Tammy. I saw the channel name last night when playing catch up on you. Oh, read what you sow is Tammy. You guys change your channel names like you change underwear. That depends or not. Yeah, read what you sow is Tammy, correct? I did my best not to bash it. Yeah, but what's the definition of bashing someone? Is talking about them on a stream and using stories as example purposes bashing them now? Are we not allowed to use example purposes for the purpose of alerting people to people in our community? You are, Tammy. Will you stop changing your names, please? You have any idea how hard it is to keep up with you guys? Tammy changes her name every stream, and I'm getting confused. No, fine. So it's not your fault, Joe. Guy is a bit sensitive. Yeah, the problem is at what point do example purposes become bashing? Now you tell me. Every time Eli does a stream, his forte is to say, and I quote, that every story and every topic he brings up is for example purposes only. Does that not mean the example purposes to Crazy 9 about the PT Cruiser and other situations that have happened to Eli, are they not example purposes? Are they not retelling stories? Reliving past situations on YouTube? Are they ipso facto bashing somebody or retelling an event that has happened with, in this case, Joe's side of the story or Mrs. Carr's side of the story of the PT Cruiser incident? When does it become bashing? When does an example purpose become bashing? That is the question. Jack doesn't wear underwear. What are you talking about? Jack doesn't wear underwear. If you want to donate as well, you can't see me, give it a thumbs up. Consider donating, because it's been a while since I've talked about Eli. And he's getting some home truths today. Every time he opens his mouth. Okay. Well, just go for it, Tammy. What the fuck? Don't forget the dead sponsor. Ooh, the dead sponsor story. So, yeah, so at what point is an example purpose and it's bashing, or vice versa? I mean, I'll sometimes wear under... Sometimes, ooh, truth is truth, yes. If you are telling a story, at what part does that story become bashing? Especially, and here's the clincher, Mrs. Carr was actually involved in the PT Cruiser incident. Eli has told the PT Cruiser story repeatedly on numerous streams to numerous people. Ipso facto, does that mean he was bashing Mr. and Mrs. Carr when he was doing that? Or was he using it for example purposes? See? Eli wants to have this fine line between what is bashing somebody and what is example purposes. And the clincher is this. If Eli does it, it's example purposes. If we relive the PT Cruiser story, the dead sponsor story, the story of any situation that features Eli, it's bashing. If he jumps onto Jamie's panel, RJ's panel, Tiffany's panel, or whoever, it's not bashing, it's example purposes for the sake of alerting the community to a situation that has occurred and that he wants his side of the story heard. So, I mean, it's a very grey area, isn't it? How many of those wineries do you think Eli and Dawn stopped by? She probably got a fucking hotel next to one. She's probably bunked up in one of these right now. They probably took the long way home, past a winery, and, like, she spent the day there. PT Fleet. Yes, the PT Cruiser story. How many times is he going to relive that story on other streams to prove that we are apparently after him? And his paranoia, holy shit. Does anyone know anyone that is any more paranoid than he is, that we're after him and that, you know, we've got attack geese, fucking planes after him? I mean, shit, he thinks we paid the kids in the fucking park to attack him. Maybe they just thought you were a dumbass walking around and you decided to... What was it? You threatened to beat the kids up and they threw rocks at you. Well, what did you expect? I'm sorry, Eli. I don't believe you can go threatening children. Because he said to them, if they didn't stop, he was going to come over there. So he technically threatened the children and then wondered why they started throwing rocks at him. I mean, come on, Eli. You can't threaten children. There's like some grey area there where you're not allowed to threaten kids. No matter what they're doing. And the fact that you threatened the kids in a park, I mean, who has more privilege of being in the park? You or the kids? So it's kind of like a moot point sort of thing. They were in the park, you were in the park, but you think it's alright to threaten children because they're in a park, shouting, making noises. And what were they doing? Oh, that's what, they were walking around the park, because kids never do that. Kids were acting like kids. Exactly, Bodacious. They were kids walking around a park. They weren't doing anything. In fact, Eli, theoretically, should not be filming in a park. I film in a graveyard, but everyone's dead. I film in a graveyard and they're all dead. Eli technically films in a park filled with children, who he not only says are too loud and make noise and play music really loudly, they also are apparently not allowed to walk around the park because they interfere in his streams. I doubt they went to any winery because they're broke. Well, maybe they just went for the free samples. The wineries give free samples. Free samples for all. And they had to get the dogs back before 6 to avoid extra oh, you don't want that. Oh, no. To be fair, it looked like Dawn slept the entire time. So I'm not even sure what part of the reunion they went to. Unless it was just to the bar. Because that woman seemed to sleep the entire time. She seemed to sleep the entire weekend. I don't understand. They paid, what, $3,000 for her to fucking sleep in a hotel all weekend? I mean, Jesus Christ. Bitch was barely conscious. And even when she was conscious, she didn't make much sense. That live stream with Eli was kind of boring. He was talking about door dashing and tipping. She looked like she was losing the will to live and needed a drink. Lee didn't realise that if he threatened the kids, yeah, I mean, I doubt she was sober when awake. She didn't look sober. She looked blasé. She looked a bit phased. Now, Eli's going to claim it was her medication, that she was drugged up to the eyeballs, and that's why she constantly sleeps. I don't know what drugs they've got her on, but if I was taking medication that made me sleep for like 20 hours a day, I don't think I'd take it anymore. Hey, Sean. What's going on? Why did you retract? If you did another spelling mistake, Sean, I swear to God. Stop with the spelling. What's going on, Raven? Ah, you did another spelling mistake, Sean. What is it with you guys and spelling mistakes? Are you all drunk over there? Can you guys not string a sentence together and type? I guess you're all drunk. Sorry. It's all right, Sean. I don't like it when people take their messages down because I don't know what they're writing. It could be about me. That's paranoia. Yeah, paranoia. That's what Eli's got. Chronic paranoia that we're all talking about him. And he's right. So, if you want to give it a thumbs up as well, remember, thumbs it up. If you haven't subscribed, I know where you all live. And you definitely need to... My phone is messing up on me. It's fine, Sean. Sean, we have fun here. We're not the typing Gestapo. It's fine. I was halfway reading your message and it disappeared. Hell yeah, he's paranoid. Yeah. I mean, I think... I wouldn't say all people are paranoid on YouTube, but you've got to have a little bit of... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? You have a little bit of caution on YouTube. Caution of who you make friends with. Caution of who you relay information to. How much you divulge. What communities you hang in. Who you hang out with. What shit you relay behind the scenes. What you do behind the scenes. Because it can all come out. We know that for a fact. I wonder what her surgery was. Drinks in alcohol mode, maybe gallbladder removal? I don't know, but if I'd have had surgery, I wouldn't have travelled 4 hours in a car somewhere just for a reunion. If I'd have had surgery, I think my family would have cared enough and said, look, you need to rest up and everything, you know. You don't need to come to the reunion, your health comes first. But I guess Eli, what was it? Eli said that they were on vacation. He didn't even really call it a reunion. Like he thinks J-Rom's been trolling him and it's not even him. Yeah, the fact that he's so paranoid that J-Rom's just trolling him is like crazy. Yeah. He thinks everyone's after him. Do you see him on his walking streams? When he's doing that walking trail, you know, the one that looks like it's going to one day throw himself off the pier. He's constantly paranoid of everybody. Every bike, even women that walk past him, he's paranoid that one of these days it's going to be one of us. And he's going to turn around and he's going to be faced with Lycan or JB, or God forbid, it ends up being like J-Rom behind him one day, because, I mean, I pray for you if it ever is. You know, one of these days he's going to get someone like J-Rom just, you know, in the frame with him. You know, he's got this... It's a very weird paranoia, because he walks on the trail like there's someone after him. He's constantly like turning and looking, and every time there's a person on the trail, he's nervous, he's a little bit shaky, he's a little bit, you know, always concerned that there's someone like watching him or following him, and he's constantly looking around. Even at the park he does it. To be fair, we rented a plane to spy on him. Oh, we did. Yeah, and we hired the kids to throw rocks at him. And the geese are hired because they're stunt geese. Yeah, the stunt geese are there to take information from his streams back to the ducks. Yes. Every stream we ever do is covert operation. Yes, we hire ducks, we hire children, we hire a lot of shit to stalk, harass, and troll him. Unless you didn't know that. Maybe you didn't know that. The rabbits have cameras. Oh yes, of course he told her that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, everything we do is like choreographed, scripted. Yeah, we get together every week and we have little meetings on how we control Eli, how we're going to get him this week. Did you guys not know that? Did you not get the memos to come and troll Eli? Did you not get the memos? Because there's like events that go on where we go and troll Eli and we have meetings.